Cool. Okay, so it's been a bit, but where we left off, your group was let into the council chambers of Anvil Guard, and really, I guess, went in on, or entered in during a debate pertaining to the martial law being imposed on the city. And you were introduced to the 6 council members? The 6 council members. Kamenos, Thystra, Kravich, Ulana, Councilwoman Kasan, whom you already know. And you didn't quite see them, but you saw, like, evidence of them being there. Councilor Krell, who you remember, or who you were told was, or is, a Skaven.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you need any reiteration on what the various council members, like, what their dealings are, like, what they specialize in and all that, or is that all?
Let's see.
Or does
I think
do
even
Goldie and Shade have that written down?
I do have it. So it's. I'm just gonna copy paste it.
What's the name of the person handling port trade, essentially?
Council and
transit?
Ulana deals with shipping,
Ulana.
but Kasan has a stake in shipping from the airships.
Kasan deals with more, like, airships and carriage dealings, whereas...
Is it Ulana or is it Ulana?
It's Ulana.
Ulana.
And Ulana deals more with, like, your traditional shipping lanes, like boats.
And
harbor
Kamenos
shipping.
was the pimp, and
Kamenos is not a pimp. Kamenos he's the head of the entertainment district and all things civil entertainment.
civil.
Thystra is
The mob boss.
she's the mob boss. There's no real cutting corners with that. She basically keeps the underground in check. Kravich is the loyalist, I guess is the best way to describe him.
Yeah.
He's like the Stormcast loyalist.
Right, the Stormcast guy, yeah.
And that leaves Krell, who you have no idea. You just know he's a Skaven.
We know he's a Skaven. And Thystra was radiating magic, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Alright.
Well, through simple logic, Krell is relentless.
What'd you say?
Yes.
Yes.
Alex, thank you for saying that. I've been resisting the urge to say it all.
I said through simple logic, we can determine that Krell is relentless.
Yes. Joining you at this meeting was Irina and Zadra, who are the chief architect and architect's assistant, respectively. They are responsible for repairing the city walls and keeping the defoliant cannons operational. They work under Councilwoman Kasan's payroll, so they are working directly for her. And you also met with Charwind.
Yeah.
A gem.
Who is
A treasure.
A true hero, a legend.
His
an
burning
enforcer,
left eye.
an enforcer of types. I believe the only thing that you know about Charwind, outside of the fact that he's really overzealous about himself, is he has dealings with Councilwoman Ulana.
Yes.
He was like working. I believe, if I recall correctly, I mentioned that he was, or I played in character that he was working down at the docks, basically as like an enforcer to Ulana. Thystra laughed at her, basically saying like she employs
This is your guy.
clowns. Yeah, like,
And he's a peculiar race, right? Or like not peculiar, but like a no.
He was a high elf.
Oh, he's an elf.
Or wood elf. Sorry, wood elf.
Yeah, he's a wood elf, which is very you don't see them that often.
Right, that's what it was.
They were cast out, basically, so they wander the various realms. So seeing one alone in a city is strange enough. Seeing one that is as boisterous as him is probably even stranger, considering how they're generally considered to be very somber. The party last left, with the council chambers being or heading into recess, and Joe taking the opportunity to essentially stealth jump up to the council hallways and follow and tail various council members. The rest of you aren't blessed with such feats of acrobatics, and watch Joe go on their way.
I don't know if they watched me go or if they just. I guess Sturdy
Turned
Bark
left
knew because I
and were
think I
like,
might call him
huh.
Sturdy Bark.
We just kind of assume she's fine.
And then the rest of you were asked to go wait in the courtyard. So the rest of you are out in the courtyard with Arena, Zadra, Charwind, and a couple guards who are just kind of standing at the door, stopping everyone from going in. Taiwan is with you currently, and I believe that's it. I believe that's the general wrap up.
I believe the actual end was she knows someone is missing. Like, someone was alerted, like, hey, isn't there another one of you? And they realize one is missing.
Yeah, I think
you know
y'all
what I
were trying to convince, like, nope, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, this is everybody. And then it was
And
like,
did we end with
actually,
that?
well, and then I think someone admitted, like, yeah, nope, we're
That was
missing
it.
someone. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had just heard Thystra telling Kasan a whole bunch of stuff.
And then they all kind of went into their own chamber.
Yeah, a door
That's where we-
slammed, and I should know where Thystra's office is based on the the conversation.
Yes. And I forget, was it conveyed to all of you that Thystra is radiating magic, or was that a...
Yes.
Yeah, which site shows Thystra
Well-
is glowing.
It was which site used by me, and I guess Loris
Tommy
might have
as
seen
well,
it
right?
too.
Yeah, Loris would have seen it as well.
But I don't know if we told the rest of the group, so it might not be knowledge the rest of the group has.
Okay.
Frank, what would, so we can just start off, what would my character think? Would my character think a living person just radiating magic energy is strange or normal? And by normal, I mean, like,
your
it can
first
happen.
thought... Okay, your first thought with seeing someone radiating like that, like, emanating magical energy, would probably be that they're a wizard in, like, universe. It would
Okay.
probably be that, like, they actively know magic and are probably well-versed in magic.
Right, but not like they're an illusion or some shit, it's just they're a powerful magic user. That's about it.
More than likely, yes.
Okay, that's fine. I won't-
More than likely not an illusion or anything like that. Obviously, you wouldn't know terribly much about them to, like, know the... Because this doesn't... I guess it tells you the aura that it was emanating.
No, it's fine. I was more just curious if my character would be like, that is fucking wild, or just, okay, that's a magic user. Which is, it sounds like it's the latter.
Yeah, I didn't tell you what color Thystra was glowing.
Yeah, I
Hughes was
asked.
glowing.
Yeah, it wasn't given.
But yeah. So you would be able to guess that she, just by that, and this is like pretty common knowledge for most of you. I mean, if you exist in this universe, you are aware the wizards exist, and you are also aware that wizards tend to emanate some type of magical aura about them.
I mean, it's all fake.
Whether or not they have a spell currently active on them or not, they tend to, like, emanate some type of magical affinity. So, but this comes into question of, does Joe know this is a thing?
I don't think so, Because
No.
I don't think we talked about
Yeah.
what we learned. The only like quick conversation that happened was me saying like, "Hey, shouldn't we tell them about like the formula?" And it was like, "I got it. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "All right."
Okay.
And the answer to that would have been no. Absolutely not.
So now I'm gonna pose this question to all of you. How do you want to proceed here? Do you want me to do like the thing with Alex and Joe, where we kind of handle that, then come back to the group? How do you want to handle this? Because we split the party, and when we last split, I didn't expect that. So I wrote some things and I planned things out to have this work out. But we're gonna need to do a split at some point where I like focus on one group versus the other. So how do you want to go about doing this? Like, who wants to go first?
I'm happy to do either. No strong preference.
Or do we think Joe is off doing something very important and we need to be here? Or like, what was Joe's?
That's up to you.
I mean, we're kind of in the minecart right now, going where you want us to go, like the group is. Frank, Joe's on her own doing what she wants to do. So.
Well, that's the thing. You're all in the courtyard with 2 guards, right? Like, you can do whatever you want in this courtyard. If that's kill the guards, if that's go into the, like, stealth your way back in, that's a problem.
Hey, now, you said I couldn't guess the people in the fucking audience chamber.
I mean,
Come on.
Yeah,
Frank,
you're in
do
the
you wanna
audience
start
chamber.
with a few minutes of them and then a few minutes of me, and then decide from there. Like,
I would say, I think
okay,
it
like,
depends on
this
what
can keep
happens in the
running.
gardens on where we go from here. Because if the entire party ends up linking up again, then it's fine. But
I mean, it also depends on how risky we think Joe's project is, right? I mean, there's a real good chance that in the next 5 minutes, game time, something happens and we all have to go do something. I don't know how you
I mean,
sort
I
of
don't think
pictured
we're
it.
going to leave the premises. I think we're trying to get an audience, like a personal audience with the councilwoman.
I believe
I
we
thought
were just told to wait.
Yeah, I think we were either told to
Yeah.
wait or leave. Like we were
told
kind of being
to
escorted. Like,
wait
I think it
okay.
was just
until
wait. I
the
thought we were
recess is
just
done,
waiting.
and Joe has had other plans.
All right, we're
Joe's
going
going to go kidnap the councilwoman.
Sounds good.
You know, if that happens, that'd be fucking interesting. Alright, so let's start in the courtyard. So the 4 of you are in this court. 5 of you, we'll count Taewon, are in the courtyard. As I said, you have Charwind, you have Arena, and you have Zadra with you as well. And you have 2 guards. They're just standard looking guards. They are wearing like black scale plate, and they look to be elves, as most guards in the city tend to be, or at least most guards that are employed at the council chambers tend to be. And they are standing in front of the 2 large doors that lead into the council chambers. They're like keeping their eye out in the courtyard, but they're not really like intently watching your group, just like all eyes on you. They're just kind of standing idly doing their thing. Arena and Zadra are kind of sitting off on a bench, talking with one another. You can hear them conversing about various plans to fix the walls and how to go about doing it within budget, or if they need to ask for any more money, and if they need certain materials in order to do certain things. It's typical on-the-job work and discussion going on with basically wondering if they can ask for any more laborers, or if that will be an issue. As you might recall, that was brought up with the council chamber of laborers being an issue with having to work within like the rules of the black scale coil laborers and stuff like that. Basically, having to work around the Teamster Union. And Charwind is just kind of leaning up against a wall with a shadow just kind of draped down. He found like the darkest corner of the courtyard, and he's just leaning up against that wall, keeping his head just high enough where you can see like his eyes peering out, looking at all of you.
Was Charwin there for the entire debriefing, or was it just us?
Charwin was there. He came in late, but he was there for the parts that truly mattered.
I'm gonna go up to Charwin and be like, so big guy. Who do you think's the cultist? Who do you got your eye on? Kaminos, Ulana?
He looks at you, and he just straightens himself up and says, "Cultist. I wouldn't believe any of them to be the cultist. I don't know what you're actually talking about. Perhaps you're the cultist, or perhaps," he looks down at himself, "perhaps I have been fooling you all along, and perhaps I am this powerful cultist."
Charwin, weren't you there for the debriefing? I don't think you're a cultist. We have 5-ish suspects, and we know at least one of them is a cultist. Why are you freaking out, my man?
He looks back at you and he's like,
I'm asking for your professional opinion. You look like a professional looking at his katana.
he looks down, looks around the courtyard, and then he gets real close to you and says, "Well, if you're asking me my opinion on the matter,
Yes.
I, for one, have never been a fan of that Thystra individual.
Thystra, okay, go on.
She finds it necessary to make fun of me and my skills at every opportunity she gets."
Okay. I'll take it on notepad. Okay, she makes fun of you. Okay. Got it.
"If she didn't sit so high up in the rafters where beyond my reach, I would have disciplined her long ago."
Okay, sits up on the rafters. Okay. This is a solid lead. I think this is some very this is the juice. This is good.
But if I'm being completely unbiased here, honestly, I don't really know why there's a Skaven up there.
I don't think any of us know. I'm not sure a lot of people in this town know that there's a Skaven or why he's there.
I was told not to talk about it.
Wait, what do you...
outside the walls of this council chambers, so I don't. But I don't think many people really get why he's there.
Me neither. But this was valid. This was good. This was good.
He composes himself again. He says, "Of course, all the information I gather is nothing but the best.
Yeah,
I have
very
eyes
powerful,
and ears everywhere around the city." And he continues to just go off and just keep rambling to himself.
And I'll end the conversation with, you're going to be a very valuable asset for this investigation, I can tell.
He's still going.
Hello? You could be very valuable... Okay. And I'll walk away. Okay, so he doesn't know basically anything, but he kind of wants to be part of the investigation.
Is that you're telling us this?
Yeah, to the group. I'm like left him. I'm like, this is what's going on with him.
I mean, do we actually think this guy is useful in any real way?
He claims he's powerful. Yeah, he claims he's powerful. I mean, he's got a cool sword.
Did he notice? Did he notice Taiwan?
Did he notice Taiwan? Charwin.
Yeah. Did Charwin notice Taiwan?
No.
I don't think he's very powerful.
Taiwan is invisible, sir.
I mean, I noticed Taiwan in the woods.
You have witch sight.
I mean, you know, he's got to have something. He's got a fucking like burning demon in his eye or some nonsense, right? And he can't see Taiwan. Who's this guy? He's a chump.
No, the demon is valuable. I mean, he's going to be valuable. I have a feeling.
All right. I don't know what that means. Like, are we taking him with us?
Yeah. If you want, he could be my responsibility, but I'd rather be the group.
Oh god. This guy's gonna die the first time we get in combat.
I mean, I think he relishes the idea to fight in combat and possibly die.
His blade thirst.
That's my guess. I mean,
he seems like a powerful.
We haven't formally asked him, but I think he might just assume he's point man on this investigation, aka
when we ask him, be sure to tell him about the monsters we have fought already.
Why don't we just call him over here and I'll whistle him over?
Sure, look. He's gonna be your responsibility, so...
Okay.
Okay, you're calling him over?
Yeah, I'm calling Charwin over.
Charwin looks at you and he says, I'm sorry, I can't come over there.
What? Why not?
If I stand in direct sunlight, it wanes my powers.
Okay.
You see the shadow creates an edge on the ground.
Yeah. Charwin, what are your thoughts on this investigation? You want in or you want out?
Oh, I think...
So let me rephrase that, Charwin. Would you prefer that we accompany you in your investigation of this, or do you want to do this solo?
Oh, I was about to say, I think it would be a fool's errand to try and solve this mystery without my expertise on the matter. So I will lend assistance to you.
Okay. You are my responsibility. If anything bad happens to you, it is not my fault. Okay?
I shudder to think how anything bad could happen to me. The only thing bad that could happen would be to those individuals that would dare cross Charwind.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's Shadel, and I'll point to Shadel. He's a little dwarf.
I'm gonna hand him a grenade and tell him, hey, if you can't make it, at least pull yourself up on the way out, alright?
Don't take the grenade. It might be live. Just hold on. Don't take the grenade. That is Sturdy Bark, and I'll point to Sturdy Bark. He's a tree man. He's got a very large scythe, bigger than you, bigger than me. That over there is Taiwan, and I'll point to just an invisible spot on Sturdy Bark.
Yes. Taiwan.
Do you see him, or are you just saying yes?
Patron spirit of the trees, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the trees? You commune with them quite a bit.
My people have come long from having to worship the trees. He looks at you, Storybook, and says, No offense to you, but my people, we wander out in the forests and we have to fight for ourselves. So I am familiar with the ancient spirits, though.
I'm just looking
Though
at
I
him.
am unfamiliar with a spirit by the name of Taiwan.
Don't say that name too much, though. It's kind of like don't be throwing that word around.
So it's very powerful.
He's a vengeful spirit.
Yeah.
Will anyone believe him?
Actually, it might make it more unbelievable.
But and that's Bagoosh. He's an ogre with a big gut. Don't get between him or food. Basically, any hour of the day, or you might lose it all.
Simple as.
And lo, Bagoosh, you should not get between me and my quarry, otherwise you might lose it all.
Forewarning, if he wants to eat your quarry, you abandon your quarry.
I'm just gonna eat both of you.
He's just joking. Don't worry. He likes joking about.
This is not a joke.
He's a jokester. He's a big jokester. Just don't get near his food.
This is a threat. I will consume you.
This is an interesting team you've assembled here.
It is. I didn't assemble any of it, but yeah.
Nonsense. You seem like you're the leader of this group.
No, I'm just the one who has to be in charge of you.
Yes,
whereas Bagoosh is my responsibility.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. No one holds my leash but myself.
Yeah, I know. We're like partners. It's not like we're like partners in a business.
You're his agent.
Yes, you're my royal assassin. How does that sound?
I was about to say I work alone, so a partnership is not necessary. But royal assassin is something that I would sign up for.
Yes.
Very good. So, as he kind of lifts himself up from the wall and just kind of walks along the shadow line, getting as close to you all as possible, he says, "So, what are your leads looking like?"
Well, I guess we can just go over it. Basically, what Alex copy and pasted in chat, and be like, that's what we got. One of our members is currently on a reconnaissance mission, so we just gotta kind of hang out for a bit.
Well, it would make sense then, but I never trusted the other council members. I mean, Krell leads at Skaven, obviously, and if you're telling me he's glowing green, isn't that the color of feculence? Feculence, isn't that an aspect of disease? Disease, isn't that's Nurgle? It clearly has to be the Skaven.
He's a Skaven. I doubt it's Nurgle.
You're jumping to a lot of conclusions there. Why don't we go ahead? Keep going.
You said Kassan has a glowing necklace. You stated. Very, very interesting from someone who isn't, to our knowledge, magically gifted. Perhaps that was a gift from her paymasters, those who are holding her leash, perhaps.
You have a lot of good ideas.
I have a very active mind.
Yes.
But my money is on that Thystra, as I said. She makes fun of me, and I don't like that.
Yeah, we're gonna put that on the back burner because I'm not quite sure that's cultist behavior. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Very well. Have you any other leads besides this? I mean, short of just going up there and he looks around. He's like, "Can we citizens arrest? Do any of you know if we can do that?"
I don't think we can do that.
We definitely should do that
down by the
Kassan.
docks, and I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to.
I'm willing to try.
I mean, we could try it, but I don't think it'll end well for someone.
I think ultimately, if Bagoosh does something, they're gonna just let it happen.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm really praying that Joe comes through for us here because we're kind of at the end of our leads. We got some names and some suspicions.
Wait, what if Charwind is the criminal?
I don't think Charwind's the criminal.
Wait, you say that out loud?
Yes.
Charwin looks at you and laughs. You're lucky that I'm not, for if I was, none of you would be able to contain the power that I would wield against you.
I don't think he's the criminal.
You're right. I think you're right.
This entire time, the two dwarves are just kind of like looking at this unfold, and they chime in. They're like, "Are you all idiots?"
No.
Yes.
Come, Arena says, "Come here, like, get down to my level."
That's not possible, lady.
Pick her up to your level.
I will offer a branch.
She gets on the branch. Do you offer one to Zadra?
Yes.
He's like, "Nope, sorry. Afraid of heights. Ignore the walls being so high, not going up on any trees."
Suspicious.
Arena starts talking at you all. Like, if you're conducting your investigation, perhaps you should be a little quieter around, as she, like, motions towards the doors. Wouldn't you think that any of them might be on this payroll for this individual? Like, who is to say that what the guards are going to report to?
Who's to say you're not going to report us?
She looks at you and she's like, "I'm to say. I have the most to lose here."
Rubbing my chin. Okay.
Who's to say we don't just get what we're owed from Kassan and leave this fucking hellhole?
I want to go back to Shaman.
What are you owed?
An armored coach plus damages for many, many problems.
Oh, and that guy, the captain of the Blackfins, head on a pike.
Oh yes. That's the damages. To be fair.
Yeah, I am going to murder him.
Oh, you came across. You were working with. You were working with the.
Cultists.
Hmm.
Cultists,
We were working
right?
with who? Yeah.
No, the pirate kid. She's talking about the pirate.
You were working with the Sulamek in their lot, yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna kill him.
I get a hunch Sulamek is the one that threw our equipment overboard, so we might leave him alive.
I have a
I'm
feeling
a
it
big
was
fan of
you.
Sulamek, the guy. He treated Zadra and I to some rounds down at the harbor a couple days ago.
All right,
Yeah, I
what do you-
think he's an okay guy actually. He's the elf.
he's the elf.
right?
Yeah. What do you know about the pirate captain? Do you know anything? You know he's just a buffoon, or
He's a crook.
He's one of them privateers. He works for the highest bidder and all that, and big monster hunter, that one. He's apparently traveled to the various realms hunting monsters. I don't know.
He was very impressive against the Leviathan.
yeah, he didn't seem to know how to do literally anything. But
Well,
He ran away.
apparently that's how his ship flies. He took the wings of a dragon from Gur, and he mounted them to his sails, and he's enchanted them so his ship can hover above the waves.
I'm knowledgeable about construction, and I saw his sails. Was there anything in the sails that would suggest that is true?
No.
This guy's amazing PR.
Okay, I will just tell you immediately. I saw his sails. There is no such thing.
Well, then explain how it can fly. Then I mean,
Do you believe everything you hear?
How do the Caradron ships fly? He
Trade
probably
secrets.
stole the ship. He's probably a pirate. He got the ship that probably crash landed. He repaired it, and now he's parading around with it. As far as I'm concerned, he's a privateer that stole from the Caradron overlords. And should I take his ship, it's entirely justified by the code.
Don't forget when we kill
he's
him.
probably long gone by this point.
Well, it'll be fun to hunt him down for the rest of his life.
He was here the second, probably the couple hours before the harbor blew up anyway, and then.
Very suspicious.
I mean, how many barrels did she roll out at the assembly there? Was it only one?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if she had more barrels? Like, do you know of any more barrels she might have? I'm talking to the dwarf now.
Kassan?
No, yeah.
Oh, she only has the one. Let's put it this way, I've only seen the one anyway.
Well, that's curious. That's pretty useless, you know.
I mean, I'm not sure. I figure you just stuff it in a cannon and let it fire.
No. There's multiple components to the compound. With just one, you can't do anything.
Well, the guns aren't even working yet, so she's got time to figure that one out.
Well, if Cultus has gone missing and she only has one canister that he has delivered to her, it's quite a problem.
Yeah, well, they're on. She works with them on occasion, so I'm sure they'll be in
Come
touch
back, perhaps?
Well, she'll be able to organize a sting operation to make up for her blunder. That sounds really fantastic.
Look, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just trying to make sure I get my job done. But
you have been a very helpful informant. Thank you.
I would like to say, please do not do anything that might jeopardize my pay, Zadra's pay, or those under our team.
Yeah, no, you haven't jeopardized anything. You're not.
How would I do that? The only way that would happen is if I killed her.
She raises an eyebrow and she says, "Yes."
I'm not going to get paid if I kill her.
I don't think we want to kill her. We want to kill the captain.
Oh, I don't care much for him, so by all means.
Oh yeah, he's a dead man. If you got any grievances with him, you better fulfill them before we find him.
No, I didn't write anything in my book.
You have a book?
We all have books.
Oh.
She looks at you and is like, yeah, it's... Zadra chimes in and is like, it's kind of our thing.
Guys, what if Joe was captured?
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Go straight over to Joe now. As you all as you all finish your conversations with
So we've secured the aid of Charwin.
Mm-hmm.
Charwin will assist you, and
We will assist Charwin, I believe, is the...
yes, Charwin, you will assist Charwin from stopping himself from getting himself killed. And Arena gave you information. I don't know if it's useful to you, but she gave you information. Joe.
Yep.
The door's closed. You're standing in a hallway. Pretty long. You could see it, like, as I said, it like curves, so it's probably, you could somewhat tell that it's at least a half circle. A semicircle of sorts. And you can hear various doors closing. You noticed that Councilwoman Kassan went left of your current, like, facing.
Mm-hmm.
Through a doorway and closed it behind her into what you can only imagine to be your office. And then you also noticed Thystra go into another door down the line. It appears that there's no guards up here. It seems like this is what's to be considered a very safe area. Or at least you don't see any guards. How do you want to proceed?
I want to. So I've identified those two doors. Can I see any other doors, or is that I have to go down the curve?
You have to go down a bit
Sure.
in order to get to
So I'm going to, as quietly as I can, go clockwise until I see a door, and I'm going to try to see if there's any identifying features along the door that I pass. And the moment I see a person, I will carefully stop and back out of there. But I'm trying to figure out what Joe's number one mission is: map the place, as that was one of our objectives, is determine if they're going to storm this place, where are the offices of these people. So I have 2 down, and I'd like to get at least 2 more.
Okay. So you have Councilwoman Kassan. You have Councilwoman Thystra. Next in the ring as you're going, or in the hallway as you're going, you don't recognize this symbol.
Can I just make a mental note of it to write down later?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now and just
Okay.
show it. You don't recognize this symbol, but this is what you see on the next door.
Okay.
None of us would recognize this, right?
Nope. These things don't exist. Or they do exist, but like the regular folk don't know they exist. As you're proceeding down the hall, you see a similar like banner to what you recognize to be Counselor Ulana's banner. So like up on their podium, you saw like a color standard behind her, and you recognize this same standard on this door or above this door. So far in order, you have seen Kassan, Thystra, this symbol here, and then Ulana. As you keep walking, you actually hear coughing coming further down the hallway.
Can I even get a hint of the type of person? Either big, small, dwarf, human, male, female?
It seems like a somewhat like hearty cough, like a deeper cough. But as you listen close, you hear You hear a male voice say, shout out, or not shout out, just say aloud, "Are you alright? Or you need any water or something like that?" And then you hear a female voice chime back saying, "Oh no, it's just a bit dusty up here, is all. Obviously not many people traverse here, so a bit dusty." Uh, you hear the male voice say again, "Yeah, that's the truth." Uh, and
will-
then just go silent again.
Yeah, I will very slowly start moving the opposite direction of those voices and make sort of a mental note of how far I thought they were.
Yep. It is worth noting you don't hear footsteps. You just hear
Sounds like
the
someone.
coughing.
Yeah, it's like someone on
and the
guard
coughing.
is my guess then.
Sure. Yeah, and besides that, there's so you walk back the other direction. You said.
Yep, I'm gonna walk all the way past Kassan's door and see what's the other way.
Sure. Walking the other way, you actually see an open door. And the standard above it is Anvil Guard standard. Actually, it's Anvil Guard symbol, the hammer and the kraken. And it's just hanging above an open door.
Is that
The only counselor who you noticed was hanging this banner, or this standard, was Counselor Kravich.
okay? He's the only one who's not. Oh yeah, smudge. Okay, General Nobody. Okay. Yeah, and he's the one reporting the. Okay, got it.
Yep, he was the.
I'm gonna casually walk by like I'm supposed to be there.
Do you sneak a peek inside as you walk by?
Yeah. I'll actually kind of turn my head for a second. If I make eye contact, I'll just nod. But I'm really just looking to see what's in there.
You see, as you're walking by, you see Counselor Kravich sitting at their desk. He doesn't notice you. You just see them looking down at various papers and almost holding up what looks like a clipboard, just quickly looking over some things. As I said, they don't seem to take notice of you.
Cool. I'll continue on. I guess I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Should be
So
6. Yep.
yeah, and I haven't been able to identify one, so I need to see if I can identify the final one.
Yep. This, once again, as you keep circling around, you start hearing conversation again. It's the same two voices you heard before. This time you hear them saying something along the lines of this time you hear them saying, the male voice saying to the female, or saying to the other one, "So how was your detail last night? Was he causing you any trouble, or was he just generally as passive as usual?" And her response back was, or is, "Oh no, at night he's generally very manageable. I mean, we bring him to one of his pleasure houses, and he just kind of slinks away into the night, and very easy to manage, thankfully." And then you hear the other voice respond back, "Yep, one of the easiest gigs you can have around here, that's for sure. Just making sure he doesn't get in anyone's business." And they both kind of let out a chuckle, and just converse about various other things, like the day-to-day or various on-guard details. But that was the only thing that you really take note of.
So Frank, I'm gonna draw on the map in the top left. So you're essentially, if this is like the council chamber that we started in, and I popped out this way, I walked around, heard voices, walked around, heard voices.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. And I haven't seen any doors. I guess I've seen like rings of doors on the inside that
You've seen
lead in.
5 doors. Say again?
Were there hallways leading back in towards the council
Yes, there
chamber?
were.
Okay, got it.
You've seen 5 doors, and you've seen 5 entrances back into the hallway.
Okay.
You have not seen a 6th door or
So
a 6th
process
entrance.
elimination is the 6th door, and the way out of this building is here, or each door has their own way out. Or my
Yep.
Okay, got
Each
it.
door has their own way out, but there is an entrance. There's like an exit in the bottom part.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go walk by again. If Kravich notices me, I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna stop at his door and walk in. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep passing by towards Kasan.
Sure. So, let's actually. Highs or lows?
Highs.
Monka?
Okay. As you're walking by, like nonchalantly, right?
Yes.
As you're walking by Kravich's door, you notice as you're about to pass it that you see a foot just start to come through the doorway, and slowly, as you're approaching, you see Kravich just slowly walking out of his door, head down, looking at this clipboard that he was looking at behind his desk.
Has he noticed me?
He has not taken any notice of you. He is very, very committed to this clipboard, it seems like.
I'm pretty tall. Can I, like, creepily just look over his shoulder and try to get a peek without him
Sure.
noticing?
You see at the top the same seal that's above his door, so the hammer and the kraken. And then you see various like markings. In his own handwriting is what it seems like. 'Cause it doesn't seem like this is scribed all too legibly. But you're able to make out. You're able to make out various, I guess, etchings that state plan for the slums, uplifting. You make out plans for the slums. You make out uplifting the harbor, and you're able to make out deal with the pirates. Just off the clipboard. And below each of those rather large title lines, each of them underlined, mind you, is just very, like, it goes to almost illegible etchings from there. Like, illegible handwritings.
Okay. I am just going to sort of hang back and let him proceed back into the council chambers, and then I'll walk past once he like enters the middle hallway. The hallway leading back to the council room. I will continue on towards the other doors.
Okay. It is worth noting his door is open.
I'll take a peek in. I have little no suspicion, but just in case there's something, I'll give like that quick like casing the joint look. Weapons, something like a safe, anything that's like a cause for concern or further investigation.
Okay.
And Joe's
I gotta get something.
pretty trusting of this guy, so is not going to put too much effort into it, especially if he leaves this freaking door open.
Yeah, I gotta find something for you. Wait, didn't I link it earlier?
What?
Yeah, so I'll just explain as I scroll up to see if I linked it earlier, because I could have sworn I did. You go in. it seems like it's a very well, like it's your typical office, right? You see papers kind of thrown about on his table or on his desk. You see like a map on the wall, with like what looks like pins marking various parts of it. And the map, as you just take notice of, is very clearly a map of Anvilgard. Yeah, he very much seems like he's very into his work, as it doesn't really seem like there's any books of leisure or anything like that, like any uh, alcohol or anything like that here. It seems like he's very into being a counselor, and basically everything in his room is making it out to be that. The one thing that you notice is on the map of Anvilgard, you see above, like in the center, the top center of it, you see this.
What is that?
You don't know.
I will make another mental note. That looks like a big ol' octopus. Is it those colors, or it's just like
It looks
black
exactly
ink?
like this.
Okay. Any does it remind me of my squid brooch?
It does.
I'm going to. How far away is Kravich?
How far away is he?
Yeah. Is this just like I've turned in and he's like 3 steps away from me?
No, he's from what it made it sound like you waited until he walked back into the council chamber. So
Yeah,
he's in the chat. He's in the council chamber.
Okay. Cool. Then I'm gonna pull out that sigil real quick, look at it, confirm that it looks similar, and then walk out the door, realizing that chamber might be in session soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk out towards Kassan's door, a little hastier now, and then go knock.
Okay. As you get, yeah, I mean, it's the next door in line here. So you get to her door, no problem, and you hastily knock on it. You said.
A lightly knock, yeah.
Okay. When you knock, you hear a very loud sigh, and you say, or you hear someone say back, "Can this wait? I'm very busy."
I go to open the door.
Okay. As you open the door, you hear back I didn't say you could come in, and as you open the door and make yourself seen, she kind of shuts herself up upon seeing you. And
Hello, Councilwoman.
And she says, "Oh, yes, hello,
Joe.
Loren, was it?
Close. Lenoran.
Lenoran, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. That's
No, it's
as
quite
you
fine.
can tell,
We almost died on your payroll, but it's fine.
I have many people on my payroll. You'll have to forgive me. I never forget a face, but that doesn't necessarily mean don't forget names."
Right. So I want to work quickly here. I assume council's going to be back in session in a moment. How do I make sure that my party and I are taken care of, trusted, believed here? Seems like it's a bit of lack of control in this whole place, a bit of arguing, and I just want to get things done correctly. So, what do we need to say? What do we need to do? What do we need to procure? What information do you need to give me?
She looks to you for what exactly?
To get us to a situation where we can actually get something done here. You have one canister You don't know where the ship is that has the rest of the canisters. Needs more
She
information.
looks at you funny. I never said such. I close the door.
Door is already shut.
She stands up and she puts her hand on her desk and just walks around to you.
Give her a big smile.
And she looks at you and just right in the eyes and says, "I have the situation covered."
So, what's that going to look like? Should we just shut our mouths and let you handle it? I'd like to know
The
what to expect.
situation for the defoliant is covered.
Oh, good.
I would ask that you and your group not interfere with the defoliant aspect of my job. As I said, this is in good hands. Arena and Zadra I have my utmost faith in their ability to fix the walls and get the defoliant cannons back online. And I have the utmost faith in their capabilities to figure out the necessary mixtures to get the defoliant working properly. And if not, then I will have to resource out to, well, my various contracts within the Caradron enclaves. Then it'll be fine. I will fix this problem.
You aren't really convincing me. Are you sure you're going to be able to convince them all? I need a little bit more information. I mean, I'm pretty convincing myself, but Shadell is hard to convince. Plus, he's convinced you're a armored carriage coach or whatever. So if we don't have that today, he's going to be fucking mad.
I will assure him that he will get his payment. It is written, after all. That being said, there is no such coach that's currently within the city walls.
Joe's about to mention, like, oh, what about that? And there's like, wait, nope, I'm not supposed to know that.
That will be another issue I will have to tend to. But, as I said, it was written in contract, and I know not to draw ire from Duradin when I have written it in contract. I would like to avoid getting placed in one of their books. You catch my drift.
Too fucking late.
It might be too late for that, but we'll see. Also, I know Shadell was offered an armored coach. I was offered just Aqua Garanus, so... And I think Loris wanted some sort of way to contact Grace as needed. Is that all still on the table? I'm literally out, and I just like shake my my glass sphere. There's literally nothing in it.
Okay. She walks behind her desk and she pulls out a moderate sized like jar, and she just kind of like puts it on the table, and she says, I'll part with some for you as payment now. With regards to payment for Loris, it's going to be a bit of an issue on that. She looks at you and says, it's not exactly the easiest to come by, well, sending magics that will work readily across various realms. I have to begrudgingly work with other members of the council on that, particularly one whom I don't wish to be indebted to, so I have to work slowly and meticulously so as to not, well, fall indebted to her. and hopefully she should set up some level of what is honestly contraband and provide it to you, though I'm not exactly sure when that will be.
So this person who we obviously won't name, and we obviously don't know who we're talking about, are they the biggest concern to you? I've always sort of had a concern of corruption in this city, and was kind of curious who you were most worried about when it comes to these sort of things, who might not have the city's best interest at heart. You genuinely do seem to. Kravich also as well. I can't get a good read on the others, though.
I trust myself and Kravich. To some extent, I trust Kamenos, if only because his wallet dictates everything he does. And if the city isn't functioning properly, or if people are leaving in droves, then suddenly his wallet is getting more and more empty. So I, to some extent, trust him. The others, I begrudgingly have to trust Uvala, but well, she's what I would consider a direct competitor of mine, both politically and business-wise, so I try to keep her at arm's length. And, well, Thystra is... she's a lot, sometimes. In fact, she's not someone who I wish to, as I said, be indebted to. Unlike others here, that is.
And the last one, I don't know if I caught their name. I couldn't really get a good look at them.
Krell?
Krell. Okay, yes, Krell. What?
We won't. You don't have to deal with Krell.
Oh. Trustworthy
Krell.
fellow then?
I'm sorry?
Is a trustworthy fellow then?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Krell has been given special treatment. How familiar are you with his people?
I don't think I got a good look at him. So I don't know what is he, some kind of elf or?
He's she grabs your arm and starts walking to the door, and she says,
Oh, at this point, have I poured the money into my my hip?
No.
Okay.
Would you resist?
Or I'll just grab the whole vial then as
Okay.
she's pulling me away.
Okay.
And then I go along with her.
She walks you over to the door past Thystra's door.
Okay.
The one that has, as you pass Thystra's door, you hear laughing and you hear music playing, coming from inside her office. Besides that, you get to the door that has this weird symbol that you didn't recognize on it, and you hear, Councilwoman Kassan just knocks on it. Upon the knock landing, you hear a scream. You hear ah! And then upon hearing that, you hear a yes, hello. And Kassan just says, "I'm coming in, Krell. I'm bringing someone with me. Just stay where you are." And then Kassan turns and looks at you and says, "Don't comment on anything."
Don't comment on anything. Got it.
And she creaks that door open very slowly, and you see this eerie green glow throughout this room. In the various four corners, you see these greenish crystals that are just kind of laid up against the wall, against the corners. and you see this very this green desk, or not green desk. It's like this desk in front of you, but it's got just another large green crystal on it. And then you see this big high-backed chair, and behind this crystal you see this little rat thing that's just sitting in this chair.
And you said earlier that my character would think Skaven are just a folklore, does not exist.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just dumbfound for a second, then sort of turn to Kassan for the next move.
And Kassan gestures out her hand and says, This is Counselor Krell. Upon hearing Counselor, Krell just kind of puffs his chest out a bit and looks self-important for a second. And Kassan says to you, Counselor Krell is here by recommendation of Counselor Thystra in order to keep the peace. And she lets out a big sigh afterwards.
I'll just sort of nod and
smile. Are there any questions?
I'll just say, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for everything you do for the city. And then I'll start kind of walking out.
Quickly hops up on his desk upon you saying that. And you see his full getup. He's wearing very nice looking robes actually. He looks like he's very well dressed for someone as stinky as he is. And he's got this almost this horned crown, this horned bone structure that's kind of sitting atop his head. And he holds out his hand in a really weird way, and he says to you, "Man, things shake, yes?"
I'll smile and walk forward and go to shake his hand and say, Joe Lenarin, pleasure.
Krell.
And then I'll give him a good shake, and I'm kind of eyeing the place to see if there's any other concerning things, specifically cultisty, or
this shit looks really cultisty to you.
Okay.
There's
But any symbols?
Yeah, you see that symbol that was on the door?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit's everywhere.
Okay.
Not the rat part, but the three
Skaven
bone
symbol,
part. Yeah. That's everywhere.
Yeah, just smile and turn to Kassan, give him the we going face.
She looks back at you and then looks down at your hand, or his hand still grabbing your hand, and he's still very excitedly shaking.
Yeah, then I'll just keep smiling, shaking, back. Oh, thank you, and then I'll sort of go to release.
Why you come? Why you come here?
Oh, I'm trying to learn more about what's going on with leadership in the city and making sure everything's sort of going well. I'm a bounty hunter, so I kind of need to know what's going on and.
Yes, Krell, no bounty hunters. Yes. And Krell hire some from slum area. Yes, I should recommend good bounty hunters. Yes.
Oh, Thystro's recommendations. Probably some of my competitors then. I'm usually closer to the docks.
More big armor men.
Well, some of those, I think I know some of the men you're talking about. I'm sure they got the job done, but they're usually a bit messier than I am.
Oh, yes. So, very effective, though.
So am I. If you need anything, certainly let me know. I'm always around, except when I'm not.
He motions to. He says, "Come, you get you first person visit office," and he goes skitters behind his desk, and then you hear like some ruffling going on, and then he pulls out this like small like box, and then he comes over and he gives it to you, and he says, "You take."
Oh, thank you. Much. I
Hassan
appreciate
looks
that.
at you and says, "Don't take you."
I absolutely sort of kind of like give a little bow, big smile, turn to her, smile, turn to him, smile, and say, I'm gonna like can I take a look now? Or
He nods his like very vigorously nods. Yes, yes.
I'm gonna open the box.
It is a little, very nicely carved green gem.
Ooh. Okay. Well, this is quite nice. Be sure to take care of it.
He looks at you very, very expectantly. He's like, "Yes, yes. I talk to you later." As he scurries behind his desk, like grabs some various scrolls, and then he starts walking towards the door and nods as he just walks back towards the council chambers.
Well, I guess it's council's about to be back in session. And then I guess once he's out of earshot, I'll be like, why did you say I shouldn't take it? Or why it looked like you didn't want me to take it? I obviously took it.
She looks at you, and then she looks down at that, and she says, "Okay, you might be in a bit of trouble."
Oh?
He effectively just hired you
For
what I could only assume is whatever he wants to hire you for.
well, worst case, I have to give the money back. Turn the job down.
She looks at you and says, "I hope it's that easy."
Well, I can always get help from my friends if it's not.
I truly hope it is. Right. Well, he's here to keep the peace, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much more beyond that, other than Thystra recommends that we keep him around, and that we pretend to cater to him a bit.
I see. Interesting. Well, I'm sure the council's about to get back in session. I'm a bit lost. Can you guide me back to the
Yes, I was actually going to ask how you got up here.
I'm very good at what I do, and I need to talk to you. But now I could use some help getting back to the courtyard.
Fair point. Is there anything else I can assist you with while we have this personal time?
I think I'm going to trust you in saying that the defoliant is going to be handled. Shadell is quite the expert when it comes to repairs and things like that, so if your team is struggling, please seek us out. I don't want this city to turn into what we saw out there, which is quite a mess. And no, I think just make sure to get on Shadell's good side, or he's might be a problem. That's all I got for you.
Fair. Well, I will keep that in mind.
Oh, and thanks for the and I'll like shake the vial.
She looks at you and she says, "Yes, very good." As she kind of very exacerbated.
How much do I have, Frankie? How many drops, files, or spheres have I obtained?
This was a large vial, like a very large jar.
I don't know how money works. I just have 3 things of currency.
I need to think about how much
yeah,
That's
give fair.
You off of this, because depending on how we break things from here.
So I'm gonna. I'd like to imagine if we're skipping ahead that I'm just walking out to the rest of the party with like a box under one hand and just a jug of money in the other hand.
Yes, that's effectively what's going on here.
As I assume our royal assassin has just stepped deeper into the shadows.
So yes, you rejoin. Kassan leads you out, and you rejoin your group before the council reconvenes.
Joe, we thought you might have been captured, but it appears you have spoils.
Where did you go?
I mention I had to talk with some of the council members?
You didn't mention
Also,
anything.
Don't we all need to talk to the council members?
Shadel, do you have anything I could write on? I need to draw a map real quick.
I hand him a piece of bark.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think of course this is how this party functions. And I go grab a sturdy bark arrowhead I've been working on, and I start drawing a map of the council chambers with little labels of each of the like offices, and then start telling the story of like quietly making sure no one's listening. If anyone's listening, I'll just shut up. Start telling the story of like what I learned, not really hiding anything, and then finishing off with almost forgetting the part about the gem, and then be like, oh, and also I got this, and I'll show them the gem.
Do I recognize that?
And I'll
Yes.
draw both symbols as well, and see if anyone recognizes them.
Okay. People in this party who would recognize the Skaven symbol.
Which one of
Boris.
these in chat is a Skaven symbol? Just
The
so
top
Tommy knows.
First one.
Okay.
Definitely Sturdy Bark. Bagoosh, what is your familiarity here?
I start like drooling.
Very good.
Loris should as well.
Yeah, Loris, you should know, and I think Shadel, you should know as well.
I'm not that
Or
old.
would you know of them, but not like?
Is
know
it something
exactly?
that would be taught at the university?
Oh no, they're not real.
Okay.
They're not real. No, they.
I don't know how much interaction I would have with Skaven and Shimon.
Probably very little, actually.
Yeah, I actually doubt I'm familiar with it.
So yeah, it would be Sturdy Bark, Loris, maybe Bagoosh, depending on how hungry Bagoosh is.
He's probably eating them, yeah.
Yeah. Like, how easy is it to recall the taste?
Rats are just scared, just large rats.
Yeah. But I mean, how easy is it to recall, like, the different like, tenderness in the meat?
Joe,
They definitely taste like chaos, so.
That's a Skaven symbol, Joe. Where'd you find this?
That would make sense since it was a Skaven's office. So Krell, maybe I wasn't clear on that part. He's Skaven. His office is wild. It's covered in all these green glowing gems. And apparently he hires bounty hunters from Councillor Theistra's recommendation. And yeah, he's like just like a rat-like human. I thought Skaven would sort of just bullshit fairy tales, but no, he's real. And apparently Theistra got him in so that he could keep the peace. So that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, both of you recognize that rock to be Warpstone.
So do you think this is valuable? Like, it may seem like it was a gift. Also, it sounds like Kassan is convinced that I've been paid to do a job. So maybe it wasn't a gift.
Sturdy Bark, do you want to tell him?
Humans have no good sense these days.
Tell him what that is.
That is Warpstone. If you've taken a job for a Skaven, you are in trouble.
Why is that?
Because they are agents of chaos. They do not follow any of the rules you understand.
Huh. What is Warpstone? Is it magic?
Rick, what is Warpstone?
I will tell you exactly what you know about Warpstone. You know, for starters, Loris, Shadel, if you're looking at it with Witch Sight, it's the exact same green glow that he was emanating in the chambers. So, Joe is now like radiating, or rather, the box is radiating that same green glow. Sturdy Bark, you at the very least, Loris probably also knows this. Know that Warpstone is basically like compressed magic. It's essentially like a physical manifestation of magic, or like mana. You know the Skaven do all sorts of things with it. They use it to like power their machines. They use it to like power anything they make. Some intrepid Skaven grind it up and use it as a recreational drug, essentially. To a very akin to like, like speed or something like that.
Sure.
It like heightens their senses for a brief period of time and gives them the big ideas.
The green crack rock.
Basically, I want to avoid using any drug terminology on stream.
Right. The big ideas.
But yeah, it gives them it gives them heightened senses while they're under the effects of it. Storybook, you also definitely know that unrefined warpstone is extremely toxic. To the point of having prolonged exposure leading to like madness and eventual death. This, however, being this very nice-looking rounded sphere, this doesn't look jagged in any way. This looks like it was actually properly refined. So this is something that you personally have never seen warpstone in this state before. As more often than not, it's used in very really like fresh out of the ground, like just like carved out of the ground, just slapped together on machinery and just sent out.
Right.
This looks like a lot of effort was put into making it this way. So this is unlike anything you've ever seen, but it is most certainly warpstone.
And could be quite valuable, it sounds like.
It is compressed magic. Like literally just compressed magic.
So my impression is this is not toxic?
Yeah. From
Okay.
from what you can tell, this is just based understanding on what it is and how you've seen it, both you and Loris can come to understand that this is non-toxic. This looks refined.
Okay. This guy seems like a pretty big deal. So, sorry, he's a what now? He's a
Skaven.
no. I know he's a Skaven, but he's a councilman.
Yep.
And
Apparently,
someone put him there. Thrysta put him there.
so remember, we were told by, and I'll look our previous context, that the entire council unanimously voted him in, but it was apparently Thystra who brought it up in the first place. So, and they're all sort of supposed to humor him, play along with him. When he heard the term councilman when he was introduced earlier, he sort of puffed out his chest to felt that he was all important. So I think he's sort of kind of the ambassador, keeping the peace, more of like a diplomat than sort of acting upon any sort of power plays.
He's a Skaven.
Right. I mean, if he's hiring bounty hunters, he's clearly doing some kind of work.
Right, the fact that he was requested to be a council member means he was a hotshot before, and I'm trying to understand why or how.
Or the only person they wanted to send up here. Or over here.
I'm correct in assuming I'm extremely racist against Skaven, right? They're literal agents of chaos. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why you people are entertaining this. Like, this guy is trouble. The Skaven are nothing but trouble.
So is it likely that he's the Nurgle cultist?
No, I'm thinking it's Thystra. This is sketchy as fuck. Like, this person put him up.
Is Thystra, like, I still need to know, like, when we saw Thystra, she was radiating magic, but was it of the kind of warp color? This, like,
No.
strong green?
It was like a whitish light.
That's just...
So,
yeah.
I know where the office is on now. I could pretty easily break in the evening and try to get a good look around. I also do...
Did you already tell us about this emblem?
Yeah, and I'll say, and I do want to talk to bad names, Kravich about this symbol as well, because I do want to know how that all got mixed up with our ship.
Yeah, be careful with that rock, by the way. That stuff is very, very, very toxic when it's unrefined. I don't know what he's done with it. It looks smooth, but he might be able to track you through it. I'm not sure. It's really powerful stuff.
You say toxic like the same way that all the people who end up cleaning the defoliant tanks, like the things that happen to them, that's toxic?
Kind of, except it a lot worse.
Why don't
Okay.
you let me hold on to that?
Sure. Maybe you can make something useful out of it. Maybe a weapon or a
That's-
device of some kind.
I'll start with
certainly
it not
curious.
working for this guy.
Should we give it back then? Or maybe
I don't
doubt
want
it.
anything
job
to do with this
first?
Skaven.
Well, once you hear what the job is, maybe we can say thanks but no thanks, and here's a fancy rock back.
You are making the mistake of thinking he plays by rules you understand.
Can we... I mean, there are always other rules we can come up with. And I looked to Bagoosh.
I don't think we should eat him just yet. He's a council member.
It sounds like he has the backing of the council. Man,
The council
how
can
did you
kiss
get
my
yourself
ass.
into this?
I think we should hold on to that rock, do literally nothing with it until we can figure out another plan or figure out what the Skaven is up to. But
Yeah, Dystro has definitely moved up in the risk list, though.
yeah,
He's the one who brought this guy in.
Yeah, I think possibly right after the meeting, I think next step is talk to Kravich. I mean, he looks just like a genuine good council member. I mean, he's got his clipboard with all his points he wants to go over, his map of the city. The only interesting thing I saw was that symbol, and I don't know why someone on the ship that we found would also have that symbol. Everything else was on the up and up.
yeah. I'm more curious to find the council member that finds what Thystra and Krell are doing as very suspicious.
Right.
Where did we originally see the symbol?
I pull out the brooch that I found on one of the bodies, or in the sand. I can't remember.
Well, I thought it was.
the
Was it in
sunken
the?
ship.
Oh, it
in the
was in the
ship.
sunken.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
in the ship.
it was in the ship with the defoliant.
And I'd asked you like, hey, should we, try to identify whose this is and bring them back to them? And you're like, don't even worry about it. And I was like, okay. I just pocketed it.
Okay,
'Cause
and I wouldn't recognize.
I was
this
still
one.
worried about it.
No.
Okay, that's
This
strange.
is
We should definitely find out what it is, since it was on the ship.
Yeah, I think Frank, we know the council members don't like live in this building, right?
they do not live in this building.
Okay. So I think after this is over, I have a feeling that Kravich is probably working often. Maybe he'll retire early today because it's been a crazy day, but I think we just kind of find him on the way out, talk to him about this symbol, and then from there maybe start either tailing Thystra or entering her chamber in the night. The only other interesting thing was the gods talking about their sort of detail, and I don't know why. I don't know, just sort of caught my attention. Maybe it's not
Said
important.
easy job, right? I wonder if they're talking about taking care of the Skaven.
It could be.
This guy seems like a plant.
I thought this was Commodus' office,
So that
Oh,
yeah, it was.
and I thought this was. I thought he was talking to a female.
Those were
So
the
I was thinking maybe it
two-
was a courtesan.
Yeah, there were two guards talking to each other. Well, presumably guards talking.
Oh, they
to
were
each other.
guards. Okay.
It's
yeah,
not
guard
just
talking
the
to, but
watch.
talking about taking care of someone. Like it was easy to look after him. So it could be
Right.
that they were talking about Kamina or whatever.
Correct. It's either Commodus or one of Commodus' like friends, allies, family, companions. Like
Yes.
that's the part that was unclear.
Someone is benefiting from the services he offers.
Correct, and it might be him.
Yes.
Well, what do we say of those plans? Giving the Also, I'm sorry. Is it all right that he's listening? I just looked to Chartwind, who's I assume been like part of the circle.
Oh,
Oh,
Charwin's with us now. Joe,
He's
we're
joining
following
the
him. He's the
Soulbound?
point man.
He also seems to suffer from a diminished intellect, so it should be fine.
And he's joining the Soulbound?
No, he's not
no,
doing
no,
that.
no, no,
Oh.
no. He's
Alright.
part of the investigation.
Sure.
My
Good.
soul would weigh too heavy upon your.
Yeah, our soul's pale in comparison to his. He's part of the investigation.
Joe just gets like
Combining with
a
Terra
big
Metaphases.
sigh and realizes in terror that anyone can join this club and is concerned. Alright, well, so what do we say
I
of that
think
plan?
we pretty much have to investigate Thystra. That's really the only. That's the most suspicious person. I mean, Krell is obviously a Skaven, but
Yeah, but shouldn't we investigate everyone except Thystra and see how they feel about her? Or should we go directly to her? Because maybe other people are like, holy fuck, yeah, we think she's insane.
I don't mind that idea. I mean, I wasn't going to talk to her. I was just going to break into her office.
Yeah,
That's dangerous, though. If you get caught, it's,
Eh.
Like, I feel like we should talk to scrolling up. Kravich, is it? And all of them? Like, maybe...
Kravich first, for sure.
I have a feeling that many council members think, Thystra standing for Krell is very suspicious.
I think it's the symbol. Like, depending on what this symbol is, Kravich could also be misleading us. If he turns
And
out
they all
to be an
confirmed
agent of
They all confirmed what's his name, right?
Krell.
They all confirmed
Well,
Krell.
Yeah,
I think it was more of a public safety matter. If I mean, Skaven are sort of this myth. Well, Frank, you said that we know that they're like, it's just like a children's tale.
Oh, they're like a children's tale. Yeah,
Yeah.
they live under the ground, and they come up and take bad children and eat them.
So if they're like deep underground in like the Obsidian Catacombs or something, and it's a concern to the point where they're going to have one of our leadership be them to keep the peace. I mean, they could have armies down there. They could have elite
they
soldiers.
do.
That's very likely.
So it might not be a sketchy thing. Thystra might actually be doing
No.
what's good for the people.
No. But there's nothing ever good comes from the Skaven. You don't
Even
like
if
you're
you
young
Deal with
and humans
them?
are stupid, but
This isn't in character, but I thought the Skaven all lived in like a different plane.
Frank, do Skaven
They
live
do,
in
but
play
they
in this
can
world?
travel between them.
Okay.
Okay, so they're not actually
still-
underground. They're essentially traveling from their plane to here.
Yeah,
We
but they
don't
can
know.
also like tunnel underground.
They
It
can-
is worth
they can
noting
have-
that- yeah, they can have like they do have corporeal form. They can like stay here and like have like cities and such. But their prime city is like
In an
it's like
unreachable
in the 8
location.
points,
basically.
right, Ollie? Like it's technically 8 points, I believe.
For the Skaven?
Yeah, it's still technically 8 points, I think.
No. Because the 8 points is in the physical world. The Skaven live in the warp.
Is it just wherever Skavenblight ended up after?
They exist everywhere because they exist in the warp.
Okay.
They're bullshit. They can just kind of be wherever they want to be.
I remember reading something.
Technically, it's more where they
like
end up, but
So it's we think they made a deal and that's bad because their other option is to mobilize and fight, and they didn't want to do that, and they cut a deal, which is bad because the chaos.
Well, the deal, I'm sure, isn't free.
yeah, you can't like what you say like they cut a deal like you know what's actually going on here. All we know is that a Skaven has literally infiltrated the council, which is the ruling body of this place. Could he be funneling Skaven into here to take over the city? Possibly. Could he be attempting to disrupt the city from the inside? Possibly. There's no reason to believe he's even going to do what Thystra put him here to do.
True. All right. Well, yeah. Let's get more information. I think we're kind of stuck. So I guess also we should kind of just keep our mouth shut in there. Kassan sounds like she's got a handle. Trust her workers. Trust that they can get the defoliant.
That's
up
the
and
other thing.
running.
She definitely doesn't. She doesn't know what is needed to finish the creation of the defoliant. She doesn't realize they have separate canisters, and they have to be compounded.
She did actually say that she did know that. She knew that there had to be a mixture, and that she was confident her employees could figure it out, or she would have to reach out to the Cadron contacts. So
she's aware of where Cultus is.
She didn't say that.
I don't think so.
There's no other way she can get the defoliant.
Well, she said she had Cadron contacts that she could reach out to.
Ah.
I don't know if that's weeks from now, and she just doesn't understand how bad the situation is. But
All right. Well, back to Sturdy Bark's point. If this Skaven is point number one, if this Skaven got kind of voted in from everyone, I don't feel comfortable in saying every council member is guilty on this, but if they all voted yes to the Skaven, something fishy is going on. But I don't think all of them are super guilty.
They might have been misled, but
right. And I'm trying to figure out which council member would be the most misled and the most, willing to understand what's going on and be on our side. Because I don't think they're all like
I mean, originally I
very
thought it
evil.
was Kassan, but then she kind of cut us this raw deal, so it's like...
Right. What Kravitch? Pleasure House Man? Do we think he could be?
Ominous? I don't think
So,
so, but he probably has a close relationship with the coil.
Yeah.
yeah, Kassan seemed to trust Kravitch the most, and then kind of trusted. I asked kind of like, oh, who would be helping the city, and she said that she kind of trusted Kamenos
Lana.
since his wallet dictates what he does. Only begrudgingly trusts Ivana because they're sort of competitors in business and politics. It's Thystra who is a lot sometimes, and she did not want to be indebted to her, so...
Well, hang on here. We think the coil... Do we think that being a cultist or being part of the coil is a larger problem? Because
Well,
if Kaminos is part of the coil, which it sounds like he most likely is, allegedly, he's very unlikely to be a cultist.
Why's that?
Well, the guy that just
Because
left us
you
out
copied and pasted in chat, Alex.
That unlikely to be... Well...
It could be that we have multiple enemies. The problem
Right.
is the coil,
Do we think the
privateer
coil or
of the
the
coil
cultist?
just left us out for dead in the middle of the freaking ocean.
Exactly. I'm just trying to figure out if the being a coil or a cultist is more of a pressing matter.
I think
Well,
Coil
we're
owns
employed by the Lord Veritant
city.
to find the cultists, so that's a more pressing matter.
Right. So is it too crazy to say we temporarily work with the coil to fix the cultist problem? Or
I
is
don't
that...
hate that. So maybe that's a good point, is we could let...
Because the coil has their ear to the ground on the city for sure. Like, they're going to know everything that's going on, but I don't know if that's too risky.
I actually like that quite a bit, is opening up towards... We could just
Actually,
go
it
to
might
one
be
of
a
the
good
pleasure
idea.
houses. Open
Yeah,
up...
he's familiar with the pleasure houses too. He should know a lot of
Yeah, so I
business.
think... Exactly. So I think he might be our first point. Should we let him know that we kind of know that he's part of the coil, or is he going to freak out and just...
I mean, you could indicate it. I mean, he's got Dark Elven guards, right? It's pretty clear.
Right. But I think the coil will probably have a larger understanding of everything going on here.
I think we definitely... It would be convenient to use someone else to confirm what this emblem is before talking to...
Kavanos? Okay.
No. Kravitch. Before talking to Kravitch. Because if we approach Kravitch and ask him, hey, what's this? I mean, if it's something bad, he's just going to lie about it, right?
Right,
So...
man. Oh, no, it's not... Yeah.
So, we might want to actually start by talking to Kaminos.
Yeah, let's go to Kaminos. Do we know where he is? Is he at a pleasure house? Is it nighttime? Is it...
Well,
I think he was
the
in the
council's
session,
about
yeah.
to
they're back
start.
in session.
Like, we're waiting for it to start again so we can go back inside.
Gotcha. Okay. So Kaminos will be our first point of...
Upon hearing you speak of Kamenos, Charwind chimes in and says, "Ah, yes, Kamenos' pleasure gardens. They are a place that I've frequented before.
Before? Not now? Before?
Visits, mind you, not for the intended purpose."
Were you heard who the guards were talking about?
He just kind of like narrows his eyes looking at you. I've had to do many a job down at his houses, a den of scum and vice. That's all they are.
So, Charwin, if we go down there at some point during our investigation, they're not going to know you by first name? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I most certainly do not use my real name around those places.
Oh, okay.
That being said, I have seen him walking from pleasure garden to pleasure garden. He does frequent his own establishments often. After all, it's the one. I guess it's the one place in the city he really can feel like he's truly the man in charge.
Mm-hmm.
As Charwind says that, the guards at the hall shout out and they say, The council's back in session. They've already deliberated on a couple things, and they're willing to see any of you that wish to say your piece or ask questions or would like to sit in on the remainder of the meeting. But
I kind of want to just sit in and listen as a concerned citizen.
Yeah.
I'll speak.
Sure.
the guards
walk in.
open up the doors. Charwind stays where he's at.
Charwin, you don't want to listen?
I've heard enough of this politicking. I'm a man of action. I shudder to believe what's going on beyond those doors is going to help this city.
Okay. Where are we gonna find you after this?
I'll be waiting here.
Okay. Enjoy the pleasure house, okay?
Enjoy the shadow.
Arena and Zadra stand up and start walking in. They're still conversing about business, primarily. Here and there, they swear at each other and get on each other's nerves, but it's still primarily business. Upon walking in, you see the same setup. All the counselors are at their various podiums, sitting on high, and it's the same layout for sitting and observing. As you walk in, they sound like they're in the middle of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a heated debate, but it's definitely you're walking into the middle of an argument about how to handle what occurred down at the docks. And I guess that was technically what you walked into the first time, but it's definitely now with renewed vigor. Councilwoman Kassan you walk into Councilwoman Kassan throwing out insults to Olana about how she's mishandled her part or her sphere of influence and how this has all happened down at the docks on her watch. And as she goes off on Councilwoman Olana, you see Thystra just kind of banging her fist on the table in like a hear. And Kamenos, upon seeing Thystra do such a thing, almost reactively, instinctively does the same thing. Kravich remains silent for the most part here, just kind of observing. And you can't see Krell. He's just kind of... You see, like, his... Joe, you see this, like, horned headdress thing that's peeking over the podium from your perspective. So you can tell he's there, but he's not doing anything. Like, he's not actively, like, stepping up on the podium to make himself seen. After Kassan's inflammatory comments, Ulana stands, and she brushes herself off, picks up some of the papers on her desk, or on her podium, and she says, "Counselors, I come with great news, and I hope that this news will, well, hopefully turn some of your opinions in favor of me versus the mudslinging coming from Counselor Kassan here. I have just received word during our recess that I've apprehended, or rather my agents have apprehended those who were responsible for the bombing of the harbor. And moreover, my agents have also managed to come across various valuables for our city here. In fact, she motions down towards the chambers below where you're all sitting, and she says, "In fact, I believe," as she snaps her fingers, a door opens and you can see a bunch of shadows just kind of walking in. "I believe I have solved our defoliant issue," as she points down, and you see large number of canisters get wheeled in by what look like just harbor workers. Um, you count these canisters being brought in. You count 1, 2, 3. There's all in all, there's 9 of them present here. Just being wheeled in, and she looks over at Councilwoman Kassan upon bringing these, or upon ushering these barrels in, and she says, "I think an apology is in order. I feel like my agents have managed to fix the problems that you've put in motion for us here, Councilwoman. I reiterate, I believe an apology might be in order from your side here. After all, I think we won't have to reach out to your contacts and be indebted to foreign cities after today. I think we should all be just fine working within our city walls. Yes?" As Kravich kind of stands up and really narrows his eyes looking down, and he says, "Yes, those do appear to be the appropriate barrels. I see the marking on them right there." And he looks down towards the gallery and he says, "You, the Kerdrin in the audience, might we get your level of expertise on this yourself? Do those markings match that of your kin?"
Now, I don't remember the barrels having any kind of emblem on them. They just had an indication of a letter or something, right?
Yeah.
The serial number, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
serial numbers and stuff like that.
Did
So
you record any of the serial numbers?
They should be in the book that I took.
That is true. And you have the
But
book, right?
I don't really want to show them that I have the book. So, Oh, I'm gonna ask my pet to tell me what's in the book. It's in the fucking container.
Sure. So yeah, you can approach the barrels, and you'll be able to tell what's in the book from. Yeah. Okay. So let's say you
knock
have
on the thing and tell
information on
what's the serial number. Yeah.
Yeah. So you basically have perfect information on what's in the book, and you were able to determine from going up to these barrels that these barrels do match. The serial numbers on these barrels do match the serial numbers in the books. So these are the same barrels, from what you can tell.
All right. I go, yep. These are the ones we pulled from the bottom of the ocean. So that means you should know where the Blackfin is.
Do you point up at... Who do you point up at?
I look at Councilwoman Alana.
She looks at you and she says, "Why, yes, I actually do."
I don't suppose I could help you understand how to use these in exchange for that information.
Councilwoman Kassan pipes up and she says, "Now, everyone, let's be very calm here. Let's think this through. We don't need to be indebted to these adventures any more than we already are. I mean, I'm sure they've done us a kindness." And she looks down. Councilwoman Kassan looks down at you, Joe, and she says, very, very clearly singling you out, and is like, "I know they've done us a kindness, and I know that we still owe them, or rather, I still owe them their due pay, but we don't necessarily need to get further indebted to them, do we? And upon that, Alana raises her hand and says, "No, I think your dealings with them are somewhat concluded. I believe I will take over from here." And Ulana just kind of extends out a hand to all of you, just motioning down. Says, "The Blackfin is under my employ. They are one of my finer vessels to secure trade across the Searing Sea. But recently they had a breach of contract with me. So I'm okay to see them go, to relieve them of their, well, to cut them loose, I guess. So I'll let you know. I'll instruct you as to where you find them, if that's agreeable.
That would be...
You provide us with the needed intel on how to properly create the defoliant, that is.
I think that's an arrangement.
Do we need it in writing, or is verbal good enough?
I can write it down for you.
Councilwoman Ulana, she says, "Very good. Then hand it to one of my representatives, and I'll see to it that I get that signed and dotted for you." With that, Ulana stands up and says, "Well, councilors, I believe we've done a lot today, have we not? After all, I've solved our defoliant crisis. I've managed to make sure this council at least got one thing done today. That's for certain. And Kassan, your people are working on fixing the walls and the guns, and that'll be fantastic. Then hopefully by the time not even hopefully, I'm sure with the expertise of this individual here, we should have the defoliant ready in no time. So just make sure that those cannons are ready on the double, then, yes?" Kassan, gritting her teeth, as you can very clearly see, remarks and says, "Yes, I'm sure Arena and Zadra will have everything operational post haste, yes?" Arena pipes up and says, "Yes. After all, if we have the necessary, manpower, it should take no time at all." And then with that, Thystra stands and says, "Yeah, you'll have the necessary manpower. That's gonna be no problem. It'll be no issues whatsoever. I'll make sure of it." She proceeds to sit after that, and Kravich then stands and says, "Well, I'm just happy that we were able to get everything finished, and it's a happy ending for us all. Then, yeah. Well, you'll have to excuse me. It's getting quite late for me, and I'm getting quite tired. So if no one's in need of my services here anymore, I should like to see myself retire for the evening to my home. So I would like to motion for at least my early recess, if not for the council's." And he proceeds to say, Does everyone have any issue with that? After all, like I said, I think we've accomplished quite a bit here today." Ulana turns and says, "No, I have no issue with that, Councilor Kravich. I think that's perfectly reasonable." And Kravich says, "Very good. Any other issues? No? Well, I'll see myself out then." He motions down to the gallery and says, "Thank you all for joining us. I will at least take my leave."
Frank, I leave as well.
Okay. And he stands and he turns and walks out the door behind him. The rest of the counselors remain in the chamber. In this somewhat tense stand like a somewhat tense standoff between Ulana and Kasan. Until Kamenos just kind of stands and says, uh, "Not to be well, not to butt in here between this rivalry between the two of you, but I think we've reached an end of today. I think Councilman Kravich has the right idea here. We should adjourn for the day. Perhaps we meet tomorrow, or I for one think we should see to repairing the harbor before we meet again, if that makes any sense to all of you. Yes, after all, if the harbor isn't full repair, then the city will stop seeing our level of trade. And as we all know, that would not fare well. Yes, so I would motion to have us meet again in, say, 2 days. 2 days' time, good enough for everyone? Yes? Very good. Well, I think that would work fine. So all those in favor, aye? He raises his hand. Thystra raises their hand, and Olana raises her hand, saying, yes, I believe 2 days should at least give me time to make the harbor safe again, and at least get some new planks down on the piers. Then you all kind of see a very small, like, hand rise from Krell's podium, and with that, the only person who hasn't voted is Kasan, who's still visibly shaken, I guess, after this engagement. And Kamino says, well, even if Kravich was here and voted nay, I think the ayes have it. So we shall convene again in 2 days' time here, during the normal session times then. I believe then it would be my time to say meeting adjourned, as he stands and walks out his door, flanked by his 2 guards. The rest of the counselors do the same. One of the dock workers comes over to you, Shadel, and reaches for this contract that you would have written up, or that you're writing up. Upon receiving it, he walks into the back, and presumably to go hand this to Olana for her signature. But as all the counselors leave, Kasan's the only one that still remains in the chamber. She remains until everyone else is gone, and in a sort of huff, after regaining her composure, turns and leaves. Joe, what did you do upon leaving?
I would quickly...
This will have taken place before the meeting is adjourned, obviously.
Yeah, so I would check my map, and then go around the building such that I would be able to see the councilman leaving, and then I will trail him just a little bit, and then I'm going to, once he's like a little bit a ways, I'm going to go approach him for like a casual conversation. Like as friendly smile as I can, but I don't want to be like right next to the place, so he could like get help if he needed to.
Sure. So yeah, you do see him leave the building, and he starts walking towards, well, what you know to be like the nicer part of town, right? Like nicer buildings, nicer homes, and he gets pretty far away from the building as he crosses a street onto a sidewalk. This is definitely at the point where you would believe to be out of earshot.
Give him a kind of jog up, give a big smile, and be like, excuse me, councilman, do you have a moment?
Oh yes, you're the one of Councilman Kasan's. You're a retainer for Councilman Kasan, yes?
And apparently Councilman Ulana at this point too. So to be seen. We're just trying to help the city out. I'm from here, of course.
It's always good to see individuals striking out to help our fair city here. Yes.
Yes, I actually I happened to be in the back just looking about. And when I passed by your office, I couldn't help but notice the map you had. Clearly, doing a lot of good work for the city, which is wonderful. But I was wondering if you could tell me about the symbol at the top of your map. Looked almost like a squid or an octopus of some sorts.
Oh. Oh, you went into my office then?
No, I could see it from the door. It was quite impressive. You clearly someone who cares about their work and couldn't help but catch my eye. When I walked by the other offices, they're listening to music and all kinds of things, and it was just nice to see someone who's actually cares for the city.
Oh, yes. Well, that was a that's an old map, you see. It's it's a map from before the storm fort was erected. During the old ages. Uh, that's yeah, if you should come by sometime. You'd be able to take notice of it. There's some districts on there that aren't readily available on any map you'd find today. It's more torn down or destroyed, but some buildings and locales that just don't line up quite anymore.
And
It's an older map.
so that symbol is from the previous caretakers of the city?
Oh yes, I mean it was integrated into to our current symbols, symbology. You see, it's the kraken with with the hammer through it now. It's the hammer of Sigmar and then the kraken of Anvilgard. So it's they merged the symbols together when the Stormfort was erected. So now like I said, that's more of an antique than anything.
Oh, are there still sort of people who identify with the old ways? If you catch my drift.
Oh, I mean, yes, I assume well, not officially, I guess, but it's more. Well, the kraken's the symbol of the black scale coil, right? It's supposed to be they're the ones that were the original ruling body of the city back during the previous age, and they were sort of supplanted with uh, the storm forts and the storm casts when they came to bring justice and order to the various cities under siege. And, well, their influence waned, and the council took over as the more ruling body of the city versus just being a gang of thugs. So, uh, well, I guess if anyone still associates with the symbol, it would probably be the black scale coil at the very least.
So, what about you? Are you what do you think of the Storm God? I know they just shut down the whole city for apparently an attack, but are they doing good out here?
I should say so. I mean, they've certainly kept the peace. It's very hard for anyone to really rebel or revolt when you have you have them stomping around. So it's truly done wonders for the progress and the rebuilding of the cities since the previous age.
Well, that's good. Well, again, I just wanted to thank you quickly, and I guess since you had seen that symbol, I don't know where you found that map. Would you know potentially who would own this? And I will then pull out the squid brooch.
Um, he looks at it and he looks at it for a couple seconds and he kind of narrows his eyes a bit. Um, and he says, I've never seen this before in my life. I mean, this looks like it would be this looks like it would have been carried by a high-ranking member of the Coil at the very least. Um, Goldie, you can give me 2 checks here.
Yeah, I want to. Do I believe this guy is question 1, but I'll roll whatever else you want.
You can give me 2 checks here. You can give me an awareness 3-2.
Succeed.
Okay. And then you can give me an intuition for 4-2.
I have a focus, so I bump my 3 to a 4, giving me 2 successes.
Okay. Awareness. When you reveal this brooch to him, before he sinks into this state of this ponderous state, and before his eyes narrow, he looks. His eyes like widen for a second upon seeing it. When he tells you that he doesn't know what this is, you can tell he's lying.
Okay.
And he says, "Yes, I've never seen this before in my life. I assume it would identify with someone, a member of the Black Scale Coil at the very least, or one of their sycophants anyway. No, may you excuse me? I'm quite tired.
Of course. Again, thank you again for your service to the city, and have an excellent night.
Yes, you as well. Take care." As he turns and continues walking up this path. So again, he was you could tell he's trying to deceive you with him not knowing or not seeing it before in his life anyway.
I'm gonna walk in a very random direction, so that he doesn't know where I'm heading, what I'm about.
Okay. I assume you head back to the chambers.
Yeah, and I'll alley cat my way eventually back to the rest of the squad.
All right. So after some time of navigating, winding, getting back, you manage to get back to the chambers with no issue. And the rest of you will, at this point in time, would have been escorted out into the courtyard.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you guys think?
Well, looks like we're gonna get something.
So now we're working for Ulan. What do we get from Thystra about this? Like, what is our take on Thystra with this?
Not much
Not
newer
much.
than we. Yeah, not much newer than we initially thought.
Yeah.
So no confirmations or no, nothing either way, but nothing good, but nothing bad.
Yeah, we're no closer to that problem. I like how Yulana kind of playing her cards close to the chest, huh? She just got a surprise Kassan here at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we might actually get that motherfucker.
Yeah, and that guy.
It's a shame now we can't get the boat.
Did
But-
she say what happened to the boat? Did they?
She has repossessed it essentially.
Yeah, well, that's reasonable.
Wait, I thought I'm not there, but I thought you said it's okay if that boat is no longer.
No, she's talking about the guy. She's like,
talking about
the guy
crew.
is useless.
Yeah,
you
she's
can kill
talking
the
about
guy.
the crew.
I thought we could
Essentially
steal
the-
the boat.
No.
I mean,
Well,
that's
like, maybe,
still on
but-
the table technically.
Yeah, but she was basically saying he's useless to me now. Do whatever you want.
You know, in the contract, I may have written in a stipulation that says, Carriageron property, if taken by privateers, can be reclaimed by Carriageron exclusively. So, it's...
Sounds good. I would like a boat. So, what's our next move? Do we want to get this Charwin guy? Did we get him from the brothel?
Well,
See how he's doing?
I think we want to talk to Cominos, and he said he knows how to get to him, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charwin kind of reveals himself from behind a shadow.
What the fuck, Charo? What the fuck are you doing? Get out here.
How was the brothel?
I've noticed Kamenos leaving before, and I saw him heading down towards his part of town, so I figure he's at least in keeping with our agreement to help each other. I wanted to let you know that he's headed that way.
Okay, thank you. You did good,
Yeah.
Charwin.
I only do well.
Mm.
Of course.
Perhaps he needed a strong role model when he was younger.
Maybe. I think it's far too late. But yeah, so let's
Head to
Oh,
the.
Wait,
Yeah, I
where's
guess we're going
Joe?
that way. Joe is snaking her way back to us, so I guess she'll catch up.
What is with that child?
I don't know.
Taking gifts from Skaven, disappearing at all.
Well,
I think
I
it's a
don't think
human
she.
thing.
It's not suitable for a young lady.
I might be like the second oldest in the party, but who knows?
You're definitely young compared to me.
No, you are younger than everyone except
Everyone.
Maybe I'm the
me.
youngest. Yeah, I guess.
I
You're
think
the
I'm the
baby.
youngest.
I'm like 150 or something.
Yeah. And
How
I
old's
imagine
Bagoosh?
Bagoosh,
3
That's
years
a
pretty
great
old.
sure.
question.
Don't know.
How old is Boosh? Did I write that down?
I don't know.
Let me look at my thing. I am 57.
Yep, I'm the youngest. I'm
You're the
38.
baby.
You're older than me.
Wait, you're the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Amazing.
But yeah, I guess we'll just hang out till Joe randomly reappears when they feel like it's okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going
I
pretty
mean, we
fast. I
can't,
got secret shortcuts through the city.
Well, I assume you're waiting on her to get back here, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we'll.
Alright.
Plus, I
trek
had
out.
that conversation. Like, I did that while y'all were wrapping up the rest.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
I
It's not
think
that
the
far
idea
off.
is we just wouldn't leave without you.
I'm gonna debrief us over what you just found with Kravich.
Yeah, so I'll show up and we can hand wave. I tell the whole thing. He's lying. Show him the symbol. Like clearly, he's probably a Coil member, so maybe not cultist member, but that might mean he might be feeding the wrong information to the
Lord Veritant.
the Storm Guard. So like it's not that he's there into the council. It's that he's the council's into the Lord Veritant. So
Well,
Oh, that guy is not going to be happy about that.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the question. He did still kind of reveal that it's likely a Coil Fang symbol, right?
yeah, but
So,
he
and we
doesn't know
found
anything about Coil. He's the furthest thing
Right,
from Coil.
right.
Well,
But,
listen. If we get in with the coil after our conversation with Kaminos, right? He's the one with the brothel.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we get in with the coil, then he'll probably let us know that he's also in with the coil.
Maybe. Kaminos might not know that, but we'll see.
Yeah, we can have a look, but I definitely talking to Cominos is the move because
Yeah.
Kaminos might tell us what the symbol is, honestly.
True.
And then
I
since we know, or maybe not honestly, but he'll tell us more. And since we know that Kravich was lying about the symbol, because he did know what it was, and it's, if we find out it's supposed to be kind of secret, right? Then from there you could definitely conclude something.
Yeah. No, I mean it really just is a question of how much Cominos is willing to say because
Right, and
Kravich is very clearly hiding.
To go off that, how do we have anything to sweeten the deal with Kaminos? He might just be like, "Fuck off," like not in so many words, you know. Like,
Well,
we
we
don't-
just acquired a very large sphere of Aqua Duranus, and we're tired from our venture in the jungle. We would really like some entertainment to alleviate our fatigue.
Hell yeah. We gotta get him on our good side or something, because he might just be like, "Fuck off, your adventurers, you're too
I imagine
risky."
he's a greedy man. Oh, well, not. He's a businessman. He's looking for money, so we
Good
float
point.
money around. Yeah.
And if he's part of the coil, yeah, that's also yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So let's go see let's go
Yeah.
see the pimp.
Yeah, let's go see Kaminos.
And
Charwin,
with
we're
that,
going home, bud.
Charwin. Excellent. Would you like me to scout ahead and let you know where he is?
No, you can just be normal and be with us for now.
He cannot be normal. Don't put that on it.
He looks at you. He says, "I'm always normal."
You know what? Go scout ahead. We'll meet you at his place.
He gives you a nod as he grips his sword and he just walks out.
We're gonna make a man out of that boy.
He's a treasure.
He's your
How
responsibility.
did you get him to ally with us?
Listen,
Well, we technically work for the same person now.
I guess.
Wilson, all I had to do was tell him he's the point man on this investigation, and he was all about it.
The point man? That's all you had to say?
Yeah, he thinks he's in charge. He thinks he's doing it all. We're the man behind him.
I didn't think he would lie so blatantly to somebody.
Wait, you mean he's not the point man?
Well, listen, he very well could be. We don't quite know yet. We're kind of like a handoff. Like, people are taking turns being the point man right now. He's decidedly not the point man, but he might be someday.
Alright, Bogush can have my turn.
Alright. I think we'll pick up next time then.
Yeah, it's a good
Sounds good.
it's a good stopping point. It's a good launching point for next time too.
Bye, Twitch.
17?